Hello, and welcome to the Spiral Dimension. I'm Dr. Von Hoot, and this is the Parliament of Mowls. But first...
Oh, good God.
Tom Anderson proudly indicated his trophy wall to Michael. D-Day, Battle of the Bulge. Your dad and me saw them both, Mike.
Battle of the Bulge, someone I have to work with every day.
Don't you think that's kind of weird? Not weird, but like exciting weird.
There's a clip.
Did you hear what Andy was saying on the Killer Comics show about Grease 2?
I can't remember at this point.
No.
I'm sure I did. I had it in and out of my ear because I was at work at the time.
I'm surprised.
I do declare this episode of Parliament open.
You're right.
So many mouths.
It's a lot of mouths.
I thought there was only one.
I'm one of many. How's it going, guys? All right?
Pretty
Very
good.
well, thanks.
Better than a couple weeks ago.
We've got Tony. Yeah, you took a little vacation from the last time we were on because you had the dreaded COVID, did you not?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I finally got COVID for the first time. That was interesting.
Mm. Yeah, it's never fun, that. And we've got Luke from Hydro Collectibles. How are you, sir?
Sorry, I was on mute and I couldn't find the mouse. I am very good. Thank you for having me on. This is my first time.
Always a pleasure, mate. Anytime. It's like a little reunion from SNL.
Crossover.
I'm dropping out again. No, right, I should say this to everybody.
No, you're not. Not at the moment.
Well, that from my computer, it's completely going. But I'll say this to the live chat: if I look a little bit weird, anybody watching, it's because I've had to rely on my Wi-Fi this time, which is a bit, hit and miss. The computer's knackered is the gist of it. So if I seem odd, that's why. Yes, thanks for coming, Luke. It's always a pleasure. Dead Man, Terry,
Hey.
how are you doing?
Fine, thanks. Yeah,
Awesome.
just fine.
Well, I mean, that's good, right? It could be worse.
Well, it's fine, as I say, apart from power cuts and the crappy weather we're having at the moment. And
The weather, yeah, is mental.
visiting
Yeah.
hospitals and all sorts of things because of me and the missus. So therefore, but other than that, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's a good point. Somebody's got a telly on or something. If you could mute yourself, if you do. GP, it's been a while, mate. How are you?
It's been a long while. Yeah, I'm good. Good. Yeah, back to making
Always
content
good.
again, and
Oh,
glad
cool.
to be here in the Spiral Dimension.
Oh, yes. Well, it's a very special place, as you well know.
It maybe is.
So let's move right along because, well, I suppose let's do the comments. So we've got Tony, we have Dead Man, and we have Rob Footstacks. Always a pleasure, and I've got to say a massive thank you to them because I won once again on Only Slabs tonight, and I got some cool books. I was super buzzing.
Congratulations.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, always fun. Yeah, so what's next is we ask the important question. Well, I have to load it first. But what you with your eyeballs this week? So let's start with Tony. We'll go down.
Well, I went back in time and started rewatching Hercules and Xena.
Yeah.
I'm in the second season of Hercules and the first season of Xena because, I watched it the only way you should properly watch it, and that's by watching the first season of Hercules first before you start Xena.
Has it aged well?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you could tell it's always been a little hokey, but yeah, I still love it. And it just every time I watch it, it reminds me of just how much I miss Kevin Todd Smith as an actor.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer out of Xena and Hercules, just out of curiosity? Because I never really got into them as a kid, so like I'm a bit sort of.
I love Hercules, but I do lean a little bit more towards Xena because we got to see any episode with Ares. It doesn't matter whether it's Hercules or Xena, I'm there. So I mean, but Xena was more well grounded in storytelling. I think Hercules kind of went off later on when, he got hurt and he was missing for a few episodes, but they were still entertaining. But it's just a little different.
Yeah, and you got Bruce Campbell in Xena
Exactly.
Well. Yeah.
Always good. Always to have Bruce.
Definitely.
Well, I've been watching a lot of the videos where they do like summaries and stuff, and I'm correcting the video as I'm watching it because they'll refer to Autolycus as Autolycus or Aeolus as Elias, and I'm like correcting it, even though nobody can hear me.
You just basically shouting at the telly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love doing that. I just talk to the TV.
Yeah.
I've got both box sets behind me, but I must be honest, I bought the box set of Hercules because I bought the Xena one. When I bought the Xena one, the Hercules one virtually came for very little money, so I thought I might as well get both. But I never watched the original Hercules. I only ever watched Xena. So if that's the way, I mean, because she appears like, was it episode 8 or 9 or something, isn't it, in the first season?
She's in episode, I believe, 9, and then the last 2. She's in 3 of them.
Yeah. So as I say, like you say, you watch Hercules first because I never used to watch.
Hang on. Xena's only in 3 episodes of Hercules.
At the beginning, she's a villain.
Oh, right, at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so confused then. I was like, I thought she was a recurring character on that thing.
No, like you said, she was a villain to begin with.
Yeah. And a fun fact, in the last episode of the season, which was the Unchained Heart, she was supposed to die. But if they changed the ending, and if they would have actually went with the original ending, we wouldn't have had a Xena show. So, I mean. But I'm going to mute myself because I believe the telly y'all's hearing might be my wife watching TV.
Could be. Yeah. Awesome. We've got a few people sliding in now. We've got Christina and MJ Comics. Always a pleasure. Tremendous. Okay, then. So, what watch you with your eyeballs this week, Luke?
So, I've had a very busy week. I've been watching an old sci-fi show called Sliders. I'm sure some of you are familiar. I loved this show when I was a kid. It was one of those shows that I would always sit and watch with my dad after Star Trek. And yeah, it's always been my go-to. There's a lot of people out there that love Star Wars or love Star Trek. For me, it was always Sliders and Planet of the Apes. Those are my 2 favorite sci-fi franchises. And yeah, they still hold up. They are still really fun to watch. The effects are a little bit hokey here and there, but I'm on like season 3 now of the rewatch, and I'm loving every single bit of it. It's really a great show, and I feel like that sort of show is what's missing nowadays. I feel like forget about all the big CGI and all the, the way that seasons run at the moment, where they're like the short, like 6 to 10 episodes. And they're amazing, they're cinematic, they're beautiful. But then we have to wait like multiple years before we get something half decent again or get a follow-up. I just want episodic television. I just want something fun. And, like with some of these episodes of Sliders, some of them are extravagant and some of them are very, very simple with minor changes, can be filmed on location very cheaply. And yeah, I feel like that's what's missing from television nowadays.
Oh.
I was just going to say
Another one. Oh boy, Higgins hitting us with his DJ Khaled impression. Nice.
Say, Luke. Oh.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Bugs.
It's always a pleasure to see you, mate. Thanks for coming.
Of course.
Yes,
Wouldn't miss it.
Sliders. We're talking about Sliders, right? At the moment, my brain is.
Say, Luke, always leaving the comments to you, on your Hydro Collectibles about having too many DVDs and never getting to watch them. He was talking about Sliders, and can't see me here. Anyway, this season 1 and 2 and 3, they actually got the cellophane off.
Well, that's a good start, Terry. Well, let's show them off properly.
Oh, I will get round to them.
There's no point in you holding them up and nobody seeing them.
So that's season 1.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. See, I know I watched.
I think that's season 1 and 2 actually. Sorry, it says season 1 on the front, but it's actually season 1 and 2. And then we got season 3.
What show is this?
Sliders.
Oh,
What channel was it on over here?
Over here, it was on BBC Two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
There's 4. And then, of course, 5. This I can't think of his name.
Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah, he wasn't in 5, was he?
No. That's for me was where it all started to fall
That's
apart.
that's why it ended, I think.
Yeah, there was all different variants and things like that. It was basically the multiverse way before all the MCU and everything started doing it. And they had different variants of the character, and some looked the same and some didn't, much like superhero stuff today. But yeah, it was those changes that I just couldn't really stick with. But I'm hoping now that I'm rewatching it that I can give it a fresh take, because, like I say, I watched it many years ago with my dad. So I've really been enjoying watching it again now.
I just realized real quick, GP, I haven't talked to you in ages.
I know. I said hello to you as well.
Oh my God, it's been months, man.
How you been?
Busy working, man. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, that's good to hear. We're making people come together in the Parliament of Mowls.
Some way. Not this.
It is a Saturday night, so we'll let that one go.
Yeah. So Sliders, it gets a thumbs up from me, but I only barely remember it, honestly.
I loved it.
I don't know anything about it.
The beginning of it was more like Time Tunnel, wasn't it? Sort of thing, really. It was a lot. It was very tight.
I bet I would like it.
Give it a watch, folks.
You should watch it. It's an American show.
To be fair, there are a lot of American shows.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm pretty sure they did reruns of it on Sci-Fi Channel, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it was on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
In all different orders and everything. You'd never if it was to be continued, you'd never see it.
Oh, you wouldn't know. That's why we love the Sci-Fi Channel.
Okie dokie. Terry, what watching with your eyeballs this week?
Well, I've been watching a few films, and similar thing to what Luke said. I've started rewatching The Twilight Zone.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. Yes.
On Facebook, there's a Twilight Zone Facebook page like there is with every TV series. And it comes on. I mean, I'm a member of it, and it comes on every now and again, and they talk about a particular episode. And I thought, I'll go and watch that episode. And I go and watch that episode. And so you say, you're watching the episode. I mean, not that it matters, because, I mean, there's not a continuing story with these. So therefore, you can watch them in any kind of order. Mm-hmm. I must be honest, I prefer the half-hour episodes to the hour ones. I think the hour ones, most of them could become half hours anyway, but they just string it out too much.
They just drag them, yeah.
These are so brilliant. I mean, considering, it's 1958, 59 that it began in. And the stories hold up today. I was watching, one of them from I'm not sure this is the first season now, or the third, the episode called 2. And it starred Elizabeth Montgomery and Charles Bronson.
Wow.
And there's barely any, at the beginning, there's barely any words in it at all. Probably for the first, it's only a 25-minute show, because obviously you don't get the adverts in it with this, but obviously there would have been adverts in to break it up. But you get, they say they barely talk for the first 10 minutes. But the things there's pictures on the wall about the war that's happened. They're virtually the two, as far as you're concerned, they're the only two that have survived this next war that has been raging, and it's so much like now. Like it could have been written today about what's going on now, because it's just really about the end of the world, and who knows what's happening at the moment. But it does. I mean, considering it's nearly 70 years old, it can it makes you feel this is so accurate. It's ridiculous. But there's other stories and the other things in these stories, but they're so brilliantly made. Still, it's really lovely watching them again. I remember watching.
I love shows and movies that stand stand through time.
Yeah.
Just I like the movie Ben-Hur. That movie was made in the 60s, but I watched it recently. It's a phenomenal movie. I think it holds up today.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. Then I've been gone a little bit back because I don't go to the cinema, unfortunately, for different reasons. So I watched The Blue Beetle.
Nice.
I found that pretty good. Yeah, didn't dislike that.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, I'd say it was pretty good. It's certainly better than what they get. The people who were slagging it off anyway. It's certainly better than that. Then I don't know whether anybody's seen this Monsters: Dark Continent. I watched it for an hour, and I truthfully bored me to tears. It's supposed to be absolutely.
Hang on, I need to see the cover of this one. That's
Monster. What? Move it over a bit.
What the? I'm fighting with the machine now. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, but
interesting.
So anyway, it's Monster Dog. I mean, at the beginning.
Oh, is that a sequel to Monsters?
Might be. I don't know.
Because there was a movie years ago called Monsters. I'm not entirely
There's
sure.
all these guys. Not sure what year it's set in, but it's obviously in the future, but only just. And it starts off with all these guys getting together to go over here to, supposedly I thought fight monsters, but they're in these helicopters and they're watching all these weird creatures moving about. And then one of them almost catches the helicopter. But that's about the most exciting bit that was in it. And I just fell asleep.
They're monster watching. They're just like, hey man.
But I couldn't be bothered to watch the rest of it. It was crazy. I mean, I know this isn't sci-fi or anything like that, but I watched this Jason Statham movie, and
I love Statham.
Take or leave him, I know for some people, but this I really did enjoy.
Oh yeah, Homefront. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I really did enjoy this. It's one of these better. It's certainly one of the better films of his that I've seen. Anyway.
Oh, to me, Jason Statham is a national treasure. I love the man.
Yeah.
He's wonderful.
Yeah. There's a bit of that. There actually was some acting in it, and then there was another one of these as well. So I'm trying to catch up on all these DVDs I keep buying for $3.99.
Oh, that's an old one.
Have you seen this thing?
I haven't, but I remember it coming out.
Yeah, but watched again another one of them ones where this is so boring.
Oh, is it?
I mean,
because I never saw it either. I don't think
the ninth Doctor Who's in it, but he's not in it for very long. Christopher Eccleston. And then I watched one of your favourite movies that I said I would watch. I thought I had seen it, but I hadn't, but
it's so good. I love that.
It really is.
Yeah, it was great. So as I said, and that's really good because I barely watch TV now. I'm watching either you lot on the YouTube, or I'm sort of cataloguing or scripting my next video.
Tremendous.
Little pile of bits and pieces that I've been watching. But I've got all of the Twilight Zone, so I will get through it eventually. But I'm enjoying what I've been watching.
Yeah, I've only got the first season of the Twilight Zone, and I absolutely love it. I've got it on Blu-ray as well. It looks fantastic. Like they've really restored it well. I really have to get around to getting at least the next season to watch another load because it is wonderful.
As I said,
Ninja Turtles. That is an absolute classic. I mean, it's almost better than it has any right to be. It's so good. Wonderful.
Nice.
Well, thanks for that, Terry. Okay, so GP, what watch you with your eyeballs this week?
Apart from Benidorm.
Yeah, you said, yeah. Well, you can talk about Benidorm. There's no prejudice here, not from me. I'm the neighbour's guy, remember?
No, apart from that, Terminator Zero. I've been watching that. If you're a Terminator fan, you really need to watch it. It's so good. Everything about it, down to the score, sounds like James Cameron did it himself. It's really that well done, and it's brutal, absolutely brutal. So, I've been watching that.
That is the only thing I've watched this week, other than some wrestling, basically. So that's what I was going to talk about.
Oh, sorry.
So no. It's better to have a conversation, but like we shouldn't do spoilers because
definitely not.
Like,
I haven't finished
a very new show.
I've got 3 episodes left anyway. So.
Oh, you're in for a treat. It's so good. Like, and I know a lot of people that aren't fans of anime that watched it that also think it's awesome. So just. It's really quality stuff.
The thing is, if you don't like anime, people used to say that about like when the Matrix come out and then go watch Animatrix. And I think they did an Aeon Flux anime as well.
Yeah.
Time for that. But if you watch the first 2 Terminator movies and watch this one instead of Terminator 3, it's a lot better.
It is definitely the third best Terminator thing that has ever happened. It's really good.
Yeah.
And I also think, just a little bit of a tangent. When people say they don't like anime, it sort of gets under my skin a little bit because anime is a medium more so than a genre.
Definitely.
So there are loads of kinds of them. You're just not watching the right ones, I would say.
Definitely not.
I agree. I want everybody to put that on their watch list, as it were.
What channel is that on?
It's on Netflix.
Oh.
I also watched that new film with Henry Cavill in the World War II one.
Oh.
Gentleman Warfare.
Oh, is that good? I keep meaning to watch that.
Absolutely brilliant. And it's based on a true story as well. Obviously, they've done it up for Hollywood, but
quite a few things on Netflix just recently that I need to watch, so I think I have to get my subscription back on again.
I mean, it's always like it's only like a £6, isn't it, for a month, something like that.
Yeah. Well, if you get the free trial, just watch it.
Yeah, free trial,
man. They robbed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it gets Rob's seal of approval, I'm in.
Yeah, but that's on Amazon, that one. So.
Dave, how you doing, mate? Okay, then, Vogs. What watch you with your eyeballs this week?
Well, I haven't watched a lot, but I watched the first 2 NFL games of the regular season. That happened yesterday and the day before. I'm about to watch some college football, and then I've been watching some Premier League because I'm a Premier League English soccer fan. So, yes. So, but that's what I've been watching. Also, I've been working so much. So basically, what I really have been watching is YouTube.
I could understand that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, why not? Especially when you're working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When I get home, I don't want to put on the TV. I'm just like, okay, who made a video? Who am I going to watch?
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, like if I thought I could swim there, I would. I'd definitely come.
Mowls can't swim. Come on.
No, they can't. They certainly can't swim that far. That's not going to happen. Yeah, so as I said, I've really only just watched some wrestling and that Terminator show this week, so I haven't got an awful lot to talk about in that sort of realm. But the Terminator show
they release? Speaking of wrestling, didn't they just release a Vince McMahon thing? Like they're going to do like a
there's a trailer came out on Thursday for a documentary that's coming onto Netflix at the end of the month. So it's going to be a little while. It should be interesting. I mean, I won't go into too much detail because it'll bore everybody off out of their minds because like wrestling's not everybody's cup of tea.
Do you think it's going to talk about his life in wrestling?
It's going to talk a little bit about that, but it's mainly going to be to do with the various allegations that have like plagued him really, like followed him around, and the most recent ones being the most serious and awful. And my main concern is that they'll sort of use him being a wacky guy as a way to sort of make it look like he isn't utter scum. Because if these allegations are true, he is the worst of the worst kind of people.
Yeah, I don't like him.
He's wildly entertaining on TV, and I just don't want that to be contrived and convoluted into the sort of the real man rather than it's sort of important. Hey, we've got Beckerman, we've got Rich. Howdy, mate.
Surprised Rich isn't in here.
Yes, this is true. The main set of allegations came at the beginning of this year. Okay, which is why he had to leave the company, which I'm sure they'll go into. But this documentary started production about 3 years ago, 3 or 4, and initially it had WWE's involvement, and then these allegations came out, and now they're not involved in the actual production. But there have been a bunch of interviews, but they will have been, I would have thought, before the allegations. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be an entertaining documentary. But I don't want him coming off like the good guy at the end.
No, I don't either. Yes.
Okie dokie. So, yeah, that's what we've watched. Now I've got to try and get the slide back up. Where's it gone? Arguments. Nope. Other way. Nope. There we go. Bingo, as they say. What read you this week? Let's start at the top. Terry, what read you this week?
Is he talking or no? I can't tell.
No, hang on a second.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'll embiggen him again because I think he's going to show some stuff off.
Embiggen him. I love that word now.
You're muted, mate.
Microphone.
You're muted.
Terry.
You didn't turn your microphone on.
You're muted.
He doesn't realize it. He's laughing.
Nope.
He's like, hold on a second. We'll wait after these messages. I have no
Someone do a voiceover quick.
You're muted.
This is Elaine. I picked this up the other week.
Hey!
I'm not used to doing that. I'm not used to muting myself.
I was telling him, I'm like, does he know he's muted?
Wakey. Right, as I said, Berserker, The Lost Book of B. Don't know if anybody's read it yet, but
I haven't read any Berserk, honestly. Is it worth reading? Because I heard a bunch of mixed reviews on the first one.
I mean, there's a hell of a lot of killing. Sorry, my computer's playing silly buggers. There's a hell of a lot of killing and all that sort of things in it. This one actually, because all the one shots actually Keanu Reeves hasn't really had a lot to do with, but this one he actually did supposedly half right. Like he supposedly half wrote the 12 issue maxi series, but it's not bad. This is another, just another little space in, of they're all shown out of order, or all told out of order of, because I mean he lives forever, this guy, and so this is about him with the what's Ivan the Terrible, I think it is. Forgotten myself now, but it's all right. But they're okay, they're just lots of blood and guts really, but they're not bad. But this I do enjoy. Resident Alien. I've been reading this since the beginning. I prefer this to the TV show, I'm afraid. The TV show I just cannot get on with because they've completely changed it. I'm surprised really because the names of the two people that do this, Peter Hogan and Steve Parkhouse, I'm surprised they allowed them even to do it on the television show because they just changed it totally. It would have been nice if it had been similar to the book, but it's got the TV show. So apart from the names of the characters, it's got basically nothing to do with it at all. And I
So
think
not even in concept the same.
No. I mean, other than the fact he's an alien and he's come from another ship, but on the TV show they've got him that he's come there to to murder everybody, but not in the comic. It's got
He
nothing
wants
to
to
do with
hug
it.
everybody in the comic, right? No.
Yeah, well, not so much that, but it certainly hasn't come down to annihilate, the planet Earth kind of thing, which they've got in the TV series, and so I just can't get on with it. And I mean, it's the main ones. The main thing I've read this week, though, that everybody told me to do on the Killer Comic Show and all the rest of it, and I really, really, really did enjoy this, and that's the Avengers Twilight.
Yes,
the trade, and it's as good as everybody was saying it is.
It is. It's wonderful.
It's a great book. I mean, I've read a load of other, sort of load of books. I won't bring them all out because there's about 35 sitting here. But in general, that is definitely, one of my favourites. But saying that, there is one. And I put this on my latest video. Kosher Mafia. I think it came out a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't know about it, and so I got my comic place to order it, and they did, and I got it today. Got it on Friday. But it's brilliant. I really, really like it. Really enjoyed this.
What's the premise, sort of?
The guy here, he was for the mafia and the money man, and then he's decided to leave. And
that always works out for people when they leave the mafia.
Don't leave the mafia. And another guy's come to kill him, but he's got something that is worth more than being killed. So they've joined forces to go and do. I mean, I won't spoil it for anybody that hasn't read it and then wants to read it. So they've joined forces so that they can go and find out what he knows about, and hopefully, obviously the idea of it is that he sort of disappears, but doesn't disappear as far as being killed is concerned. But it's not. But the art in it is lovely. It's really. I mean, it's obviously based in the 1930s, and the art itself, relates to that completely. It's really, really good. But I really enjoyed it. It's funny. It shouldn't be funny. I mean, it's not funny, ha. It's just, funny on the outskirts of it. But no, really.
That sounds really interesting. I'll have a look for that. And maybe when it comes out,
it's only 5 issues. It's only 5. It's only 5. I think issue 2 is out next week. As I said, I was a couple of weeks late with it, but I think issue 2 is out next week. But no, it should be. Let's say I think it'd be quite good.
Awesome.
But let's see. As I said, I've got piles of the damn things here I've been reading, but that was definitely the more interesting ones.
Okie dokie, Terry. That's you got some good books there, and for that you get one of these.
Fair enough, thank you.
I think it says it all, really.
Well, I used to have muscles like that 40 years ago.
You did? Because I never have. Tony, what read you this week?
Well, I've been watching a lot of Hercules and Xena, so I didn't really read a lot, but I did go to the comic book store, and I got this nice little stack to read.
That's
But I'm going to start it off with this.
You're going to be busy. Hang on, let's embiggen you because this. I love embiggening.
I'm going to start it off with
Ooh, nice.
Oh, that's the hardback. Ooh.
Yeah, I bought the first issue. I got the roaring covers and all that, and then for some reason I didn't get the rest of them, so I went ahead and just bought this so I could read the whole thing. Cool. I'm starting with this.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's done. Fine.
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool. I gotta say.
Sorry, Doc. Can I just say I forgot these two?
Yeah,
these are Fuzzy Dunlop was the main reason for this one. Have you read that yet?
No, I've never even heard of that one.
It's really funny. It's really. You can see it's sort of. I don't know what sort of times it's set in the time. Well, it's set in the times of Xena, probably. It's actually, that sort of time around. So, I mean, she's a sort of Xena type character in a way, but it is really funny. It's not a blood and guts thing, but it's really, really funny. And then another one to say that I'd seen, but I know Fuzzy mentioned it.
Nice.
I like the Popeye. That's brilliant. It is really,
You've read
really
it.
good.
I'm really close to buying that, and it's good.
The only thing is, but you should be okay being an owl or Mal, because you need bloody good eyesight. Because the writing in it, especially in the first dozen pages, is really small. And I've got another pair of glasses which I use for reading. For reading, I mean, these are reading glasses, but I had to wear my reading glasses because the writing is very small. I don't know why they've done it like that.
Is it that there's loads of words, or is it that they've just done it small?
No. There is quite a lot, but no, it's not been made small for that reason. That's if it was, I'd understand it, but it's not. It happens to say for the first dozen pages, it seems to get bigger later as you go on. I don't know why. I mean, for kids that have got good eyesight, it'd be fine for them. But mind you, it's not really a kids thing, kids book, really.
Yeah, I mean, how many kids do you know that like Popeye now?
yeah, it's a bit violent. Yeah, these days, yeah, that's right. But say that it's worth reading as long as you got yourself a nice set of glasses, or you've got.
I might get the trade. I think when that comes out, just because it sounds fun, Yeah,
it is. Yeah, sort of brings back the old memories of watching the cartoon and all the rest of it. So I mean, it's very funny. I really enjoyed it.
Okie dokie, Luke, what read you this week?
What read me indeed. So as some of you guys know, I work in education. I work at a school, and so obviously I've had all of the holidays where I've been reading loads and loved it all. However, this week, first week back, super busy, hardly read anything. Well, nothing new, should I say. But what I have been reading is or rereading, should I say, is Chew. I went back and started reading the Omnivore editions of Chew. I think there's 6 volumes in total.
Right.
And I purchased all 6 together to ensure that I actually got them, because I think the final one, number 6, is quite hard to find. And I love this. I love this series of comic books. It's such a good read. And again, I remember reading it when it first came out. But I found a whole new appreciation reading it a second time.
Nice.
Yeah, I never read that one the first time around. Might have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's good fun. I do recommend it. It's I want to say it's different, but I guess nowadays it kind of isn't. The premise of it, I don't think would shock people as much as it maybe did back when it first came out.
Yeah, you probably. I mean, I haven't read it, but I think you're probably right because there's loads of dark stuff now, or weird dark stuff. You're probably right. Yeah. And I should get that. I swear I've got some of it. Okie dokie. GP, what read you this week?
Oh, a lot. So I picked up Godzilla Library Edition, Volume 1.
Nice.
So I'm halfway through reading that. That's really good. Started One Piece this week. So that's over that's over 1,000 chapters, by the way. So
wow.
I didn't get it.
And you have to read that one backwards, right?
Yeah,
pretty much.
And this one too. I've all of this one, Chainsaw Man. That's 176 chapters. I read that last weekend. I did pick this up off Amazon. So this is the 30th anniversary.
Oh, cool.
So it's 30 quid. You can't be robbed on that, can you?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And I'm about to start Uzumaki by Junji Ito. So I don't know if you've heard of him.
Have you seen the trailer for the? Have you seen the trailer?
The anime is coming out. Yeah.
The trailer looks insane. I really want to read that anime now because it's apparently really close.
I can say when you look at his artwork is amazing. My camera's a potato, by the way. So it does horror so
sinister.
Good.
It's like Beetlejuice.
yeah, sort of. Yeah, I was going to bring that up later.
But yeah,
the Uzumaki trailer drops, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, and it's just unbelievably cool looking. I
think
can't wait.
if I'm not wrong, it's out at the end of this month. It starts, so
Right.
So that's the look forward to for the Halloween season.
Oh yes, yes.
Yes.
Volker, what read you this week?
So, GP, it's been a while. I've actually collected a lot of comics. I don't read a lot of X-Men, but I read this one because
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Rogue. And I saw this on
course
the
you
wall
are.
for $10. Couldn't pass that up.
Yeah.
Oh no, you couldn't.
Yeah, that's a classic cover.
$10. But I also read these. I found this on my LCS. That was my favorite read. Found this.
That's a small joke.
Yeah.
Like
Little mini
digest
comics.
size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really cool.
Like,
And
did
then-
they sell them individually, or was that with a toy or something? Because
I think
I
they sold
remember
them
getting-
with toys.
Yeah, I remember getting a couple of them when I was a kid.
I bought this,
And
of
then
course.
it is,
Like
so-
I said, I like Rogue. I like the pretty girls. So
yes, J.
And
Scott
then-
Campbell. It.
this, of course, is a reprint. I'll never be able to afford the real thing unless it was like a 1.0. I
All
got
right,
the
nice.
reprint.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a reprint, but it's an iconic comic. So
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if it's a reprint. You just
I
gotta
have
read
New
it.
Mutants 98 reprint. Like, I'm starting to get the like reprints of comics I like. But yeah, my favorite, even though I don't read a lot of X-Men, was the first one I showed.
I can say why.
Right.
So that was a digest, was it? The
It
the little
says
one?
Comics Magazine, and it came out in 1988.
Yeah.
Hmm,
So it's cool.
interesting.
It's little.
Yeah,
It's cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So why not? And
I
it's
like
a
the
cool
idea of
cover. I like the
Yeah.
cover.
Tremendous.
But that's all I got. That's what read me.
Right. So for myself, I have read only a couple of things this week. It was Rook Exodus this week.
Nice.
Issue 5, I want to say 4, maybe. I don't know.
Like,
It was good. It would I would say, without spoiling anything, because I know that not everybody's read it at the moment, and it is excellent. But this is probably the most sort of introspective of the book so far, and it's just sort of less. It doesn't move the story forward, but I'm sure it will be important going forward, if that makes sense.
Is that did you read that digitally?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not out yet. It's not out until Wednesday, as far as I know. 5. I think it was supposed to have been out this week, and that's probably why it's on digital.
Oh, really? So they didn't get the copies out.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it yet.
Ah, interesting. The other thing I read was the Infernals issue 5, which is the end of the current arc. It was pretty good. It wraps it up well, like the story, but I'd say it started with more promise than it ends with a little bit.
I haven't read 5 yet. I've got it sitting here ready to read, but I haven't got around to it.
Like, I don't want to put you off. It's worth a read. It's just, you know,
Wish it had ended better.
yeah. Well, maybe. maybe I would have liked like one more issue, and they could have sort of done a little bit more art, because they tell quite a lot of story in this issue, and it feels maybe just a little bit rushed. I might be out of line. I don't know. I liked it though. They were sold separately. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
Izzy also asked, is Chew a spin-off of The Walking Dead? It's not, is it?
No, it's
I don't think
its own
so.
thing.
No.
It's made by
Yeah.
Image Comics, released by Image Comics, but other
Yeah.
than that, it's nothing to do with The Walking Dead at all.
Interesting question, though. Talking of interesting questions, and I've been trying to think of one for the entire day because it's Mal question time.
Yes.
The trouble is, I couldn't think of one. So now I'm gonna have to spin it out to the chat. Is there a burning question that you've always wanted to ask us? Because right now the best I've got is favorite flavor of pie, and they already did that on the Killer Comics show. So
Dang it. Yeah,
They do it every week on Peter's show as well.
Yeah, that's true. It's Peter's show, isn't it? Killer Comics show. Yes.
What does the chat want to know?
Yeah, it's an interesting place to be, because I was thinking of my usual sort of weird questions like what would you rather, stub your toe or I don't know, get a paper cut like every day for a year, like something weird like that. But it's not good. It's not good.
Here
we go.
The grey man's got a good one.
Do people only collect comics for money? Well, that's probably quite a controversial topic, and we will tackle it now by saying no. That's ridiculous, in my opinion. But mainly because you don't make much money from comics unless you're.
I think you'll think of a question before the show ends, Von Hoot.
Yeah.
I think the real question is: do people collect comics for money? And the answer is some of them, but not us.
Some people do.
You're either a collector, an investor, or a flipper at the end of the day. And
bingo.
You've got the people for short-term gain we call flippers, long-term gain we call investors, and then the collectors are the ones that just like stuff.
Gray man.
Like to read.
Just like us here, yeah. We like to read it, we like to collect it, we like to own it.
Yeah.
Now sometimes that can become an investment. After all, we're not going to be here forever, and our families may benefit from that. And things are always going to be sought after by people, but it doesn't mean that we're all only in it for the money. I think it is a small section of the community that is the case, and I think for the most part you'll find just very passionate people.
Yeah,
I
couldn't buy singles no more.
Those people aren't collectors, so the ones that do it for the money aren't collectors anyway. They're doing it to make money, which is fair enough. I mean, each to their own. I mean, I sell a few comic books, but usually the ones I sell are the ones I don't like. If I bought a mini series and I read it, that's a load of crap, and I stick it on eBay. So that's the only thing. I mean, because there's no way in the world I could accrue any money to buy anything really big that I want. I mean, I've sold virtually all my statues now. I mean, I had about 125, 130 statues, busts, that sort of thing. And I've got about 25, 30 left. Mainly, and the reason I've got those left is because people are selling them for about tuppence on eBay, and I'm not going to stick them. I'd rather keep them until they're worth. I mean, well, to be honest, I'd rather give them to a charity shop than sell them to somebody for a few quid. But as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I've been collecting comics, buying and collecting comics for the best part of 60 years, and I've just enjoyed doing what I'm doing. I enjoy reading them. I've said, because I'm going to collect runs. I've not been one for, again, each to their own. Everyone's going to catch the first appearance of this person, or the first whatever. Yeah. That's fine. If I happen to run into a first appearance in a run I'm collecting, if I can afford it, I'll buy it. If I can't, I won't. And that's all it boils down to. I mean, at the moment, I'm doing this Batman run back to 200. I've got about 18 to get. 2 or 3 of them, I've got to replace facsimiles. But they're facsimiles because of the reason of the price that they are. Now, I will get them eventually. I know I will, because I'm that silly sod that I will do it. But the only way I really can get the money is to actually get me pension and all the rest of it, or sell a statue, or maybe sell a little mini-series, like I said, that I don't like. But in general, like I say, if you come across, a first appearance of this, and after all said that, when I was first collecting books, there was no such thing as that. I mean, obviously it was occurred, but you could go and buy a book. It didn't matter whether it was the first appearance of somebody else, because nobody really knew.
They didn't know.
everybody's invented this idea of this first appearance of the second. I mean, you've got the situation where, I mean, when I've been doing my little scripts for the Superman and Batman stuff and all the rest of it, you come across all these weird things. Like, it's like the first appearance of so-and-so, but it's actually their only appearance because they die in the issue or they die in the next issue, whichever the case may be. But because it's a first appearance, suddenly that book's, instead of it being like 25, you know, well, I don't know, the fiver, it's suddenly £25 because it's the first appearance of somebody nobody's ever heard of. And that's what really gets my goat. Really, really does when all those sort of things happen, because it spoils it for anybody that wants to collect the run. If they don't want to read it digitally, they would like to have the comic book. They would like to have it without having it encased in plastic. And that's how I am. I mean, I've got a few slabs only because I couldn't get them in raw. And I've got a situation where the majority of the ones I have got with the slabs, they were actually cheaper than buying the raw ones. So, you know, it was, you know, I mean, I've never taken them out because I've got too big of fingers. I'll end up damaging the damn thing. So I've left it as it is. But in general, I'd like to read them. And so therefore, and the money doesn't really enter into it. As I said, if I come up against one that's going to be costing me £2,000 or £3,000, well, obviously I'm not going to be able to buy it. But if it's going to cost a couple of hundred, then I'll save up a bit for it. But I just don't. I buy books because I like reading them. I buy books, buy all sorts of DVDs and everything else, just like you said, because I enjoy collecting. I've been collecting for 60 odd years. And I'll be collecting until the day they stick the nails in the box, and that's the way it is, sort of thing, you know. So, but the business of doing it for money, no, never have, never ever have. I sold my collection in '84, but that was because I was thought that I'd had enough of comics. I was 27 years of age. All right, it's time to do this. I was living with a young lady. I needed some money for a rent and things like that, and I thought, oh, well, let's get rid of them because I'm not going to be doing that anymore. And then just about a year and a half, 2 years later, I split up with her, and all of a sudden I found I started collecting again, and I haven't really stopped since. But that's the only reason I sold them, because I didn't think I was going to be doing it anymore, but I ended up doing so. But never ever really had money in my, or I didn't buy them to sell them. I did sell them, it's true, but I didn't buy them for that reason. It just happened because I thought, well, it's time to give them up. You know, I've been, buying these things since I was like 10 years of age. My mother bought them from between 7 and 10, and then I started earning a few pennies, so I was buying them myself. And by the time I was the age of,
I think the reason this topic comes up every now and again is there's a convolution between the fact that people are generally interested in what something is worth and the fact that can appear like everybody's just in it for the money. But it, like, just because I'm interested to know what something is worth, or doesn't mean that I bought it so that I can sell it, because I don't do that really. Like, I mean, I do sell some stuff on eBay, but I don't. Like the stuff that I've bought as a collection, that's just for me. Like to,
I agree.
So I'll be honest, full transparency. I've flipped books in the past. It's always been part of my collecting hobby, from my origin story into comics through to more recent times. I think the key difference is that you do it because you're trying to. Well, we hear people say it a lot. You're trying to let the hobby pay for itself. You're trying to find a way in order to make money so that you can buy the things that you want. Now, a prime example of that for me was I wanted to collect Spider-Man, and I went down to my local comic book shop, and there were barely any Spider-Man books there. Nobody had them. However, Disney had just recently acquired Fox, and there was loads of X-Men and Fantastic Four books. So I grabbed all the key issues that I remembered from childhood, again, not looking things up or doing any research, just from memory. And I was able to sell those into the market a couple of months later, and then buy the books that I wanted on eBay or from other people elsewhere, because they weren't available where I was going. And, whether you want to call someone a flipper, fine, whatever, doesn't bother me. But it was to serve a purpose. For me, it's not business. It's not something that I do day in, day out in order to make money. It was a means to an end in order to get a collection that I wanted.
That's I find it as far as value. I was saying it to somebody on one of the YouTube channels, or writing it, I should say. I remember a situation back in the 70s. I came across a comic. I was at a comic convention, and I think at the time it was one of the first, if not the first, comic convention that was in London. It was in Westminster. It was around about 1970. It had to have been before 71, because the comic I picked up was, and I always remember it because it was unusual. It had 4 and 2pence on it, which is like 21 pence in today's money, which would have been about 80 cents, I expect, in America around about that time. But it was a Superboy issue. But what was weird about it was Superboy number 42, came out in 1955. Now, American comic books didn't come over to the UK until November 1959. So it was weird to have this. But it turns out that the guy that was selling these books, he had been over to America, and he had bought up a load of books and brought them back in suitcases. And that's why this happened to be there, this 1950. But it was so funny to see this 4 and 2pence, and it had been penciled on there, unfortunately, because this was before bags and boards were thought of. And it was like 4 and 2pence. And I bought it. But that 4 and 2pence in 1970, because I said it had to be, because 71, we went to decimalisation in February 71, so it had to have been before then, to have that 4 and 2pence on it. That was the dearest I'd ever paid for a comic book. It used to be 5p. Well, it used to be 10 pence, old 10D, and then a shilling. That's what they used to be. I paid this 4 and 2pence for this book. And so 1955, number 42 Superboy. I always remember it because it was just so unusual to see it. So when I looked at the indices, 1955 was going. But that goes to show you the 4 and 2pence. I mean, at that same convention, I actually handled World's Best number 1, which became World's Finest number 2. And I can't be 100% sure, but I know it was less than £150 this guy was asking for it, which was, what, £150? But I mean, this book from 1940, so even then it was 30 odd years old. 150. I mean, now what's it? It'd be £100,000 now, and if you're lucky.
Only this.
If it was in good nick, yeah.
Well, no, it was in. I mean, this was in pristine condition. It was in beautiful condition. Of what I remember of it. And the guy actually let me pick it and go through the pages and actually look at it and everything else. You interested? Well, that price, £150 then. I mean, that time, I was getting like about £5 for me milk round and me paper round at the time. So 150 quid was a lot of pennies. Nowadays, I'm all right, but this is, I just said it was like, how many years ago that was. But, it just goes to show you, though, that even then they knew what they had. So even then, because I mean, 150. I mean, most of the things that guy had on his shelf, you could buy for £1, £1.50, or £1.10 or whatever. You could buy it for or even cheaper than that. And then suddenly have this thing here for about 100. It might not have been 150. It might have been less than that. It certainly wasn't more. It was a long while ago now, so to remember exactly how much it was. But it just goes. Yeah. But nowadays, these prices now, when you're talking about paying 5 million and 6 million for an Action 1, and was it 5.2 million or something for Amazing Fantasy 15? It just doesn't bode to those prices, even though that was back in 1970, 71. It's 29, 53 years ago. The prices haven't, the percentages still don't vie to that price. When you talk about £6 million for a comic book, they just don't, are they? From 150 quid for the, I mean, that World's Best one now, what would that be? $250,000?
Yeah. Oh, easily.
So it doesn't bode. To me, the prices are so much higher than they actually should be.
They are
far higher than. I mean, I know it sounds silly, but realistically, an Action 1 or a Detective 27 or something similar to that, Captain America 1, they should only be around the £500,000 mark or something around. Maybe I caught $750,000, but because somebody had the money. they can shove it up like that.
Well, I mean, that is the reality. The market will dictate the price. Whatever they're willing to pay for it, it is what the value is.
Well, I was watching one of the videos of the comic, the comic collecting geek, and he was talking about a time when somebody had spent £1 million or $1 million more on a Superman #1 than he should have done. Because when it comes around to selling it, they got the next one was £1 million less. But that was like for somebody bugging the price up.
Okie dokie. Any other thoughts from anybody else?
Then a few more questions.
I'm good, man. I'm good, man.
No, I'm good.
I think we're going to keep it pretty tight tonight, so we'll have to do those questions next week. Basically, any other business? Anybody got anything they want to talk about, or shall we just say, Vogger, what have you got coming up this week?
Well, I've got some videos to post on some comics I picked up, like the ones I showed there, and a bunch of others. I've been really bad at posting mail days, and then every so often I go live talking about comics, sports cards, whatever, movies.
Nice. Tony, what you got this week?
Well, I'm still working on my spotlight. I'm halfway through the editing. I've got all of it recorded. I'm doing a comic spotlight, episode 62 on Batman #1 from 1940. If it doesn't come out late tonight, it will be out in the morning. And then, of course, tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll be into the Comiverse episode 40. And we'll just be hanging out, shooting the breeze, talking whatever we talked about. And after that, I'll just be trying to mass produce some content. It's been a while since I released any videos, so I'm starting working on filming. That's it. And I'll be back here next Saturday, hopefully, God willing.
I will too.
The Parliament of Mowls.
I'll be
The Grey Man crying in the chat.
I've seen. Yeah, I see. He's crying. Next week, bring it up again, and we'll try and tackle that question by roundly saying he wouldn't do either of the two.
No, exactly.
Exactly.
Luke, what have you got coming up?
So I've not really made a lot of videos recently, but I have this week. I kind of been putting them out there, and I want to continue doing so throughout the month of September. There was a time I used to put out loads of videos, and it's a time restraint, unfortunately. I've got loads of stuff in the works, partly written, partly filmed, partly edited. So I'd never really know what's coming next. However, I do know what I'm releasing on Monday. So if you head over to Hydra Collectibles on my channel on Monday, you will find out why sometimes I will buy mint in box.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm excited.
Nice.
This is my excited face.
It looks just like your regular face.
This is my excited
He's always excited.
Have you seen the video? I forget who it is. They're like, can't you tell I'm happy? And this guy's like, he has a serious face. And they're like, but you're not smiling. He's like, I am inside. You just don't see it.
Yeah. Terry, what have you got coming up?
Well, I've done my script for my which one's round? Which way round it is now? Which one are I on? Yeah, I've done because of my Batman video was quite successful for me anyway. I mean, I get over 100 reviews and then I've only got 83 subscribers. I don't think that's too bad.
It's very good.
So I've done a detective comics one from my 1970 from the 1970s.
Let's go. I'm a Batman collector myself.
So I'll be doing my detectives there. And then I've got one I've virtually finished for my Superman for 1962, because I haven't done a Superman one for a bit. So that'd be part one of the 1962 Superman. And then also I've got one for the Weird Western Tales, which I was doing the Jonah Hex. But I thought I'd do the Weird Western Tales first and get them out of the way, so to speak. And then I can start off with the Jonah Hex. Also, I've picked up, this was one of the books I was waiting for that was coming from America. And so I managed to get now Batman 215.
Nice.
Wow.
I'm a Batman collector
We're bringing
myself.
it back.
I love
man, I'll have to hit you up, my friend and I, on YouTube.
I love. I mean, this is obviously a Neil Adams cover. One of the lovely ones.
Dead Man, my friend and I are planning a Batman stream in the next few months. I'll hit you up.
Okay. Cheers. So I got that one, and also got this one as well.
Nice.
So
That's dope.
This one's not in quite as good condition, but this is what I was talking about earlier about prices. I mean, the prices for these are just absolutely crazy. And so if I can find them in this country, it's great. But when you're trying to get them from America and you're paying all those carriage charges, it's just ridiculous. But I managed to get this one pretty cheap, even though it came from America, because the guy lowered the carriage charge.
Nice.
But so I'm gradually getting there. As I said, I've got 18. I've got 18 more to get to 200.
Oh, wow.
200 to the present day. So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And say that's including replacing two of the two facsimiles. Obviously, so I've 234 should be arriving. That's one of the expensive ones. But I've got 232 as a facsimile, which I hope to get. Which obviously that's the first Razo Ghul, and that's always expensive.
Yeah, it's a pricey one.
And also the other one's the homage cover 217. Is it 217? The homage cover to Detective 31.
Yeah, I know which one.
That's another one of those silly price ones. And they're also trying to find it out of a plastic, the plastic box. I don't really I want it raw, but a decent one. I don't really want it in a plastic box. But it looks like it's probably going to have to do that. I'm going to have to buy it in the box. Apart from anything else, is to make sure that the condition is decent.
Yeah, you need to know that it's all there. I mean, and buying online for that's difficult.
You've seen seen so many of them on eBay, and it looks like they've all been put in a fish tank.
Yeah,
there's always some water problems with them or something. And then when you ask for some more photographs, because it's like one photo, they're trying to sell you a 350, 400 pound book, and they give you one photograph, and you send them a message and say, "Can you send some more photographs, please?" And they come back and they say, "Oh no, it's in our storehouse and we can't get to it." Well, I'm sure if I offered to pay for it, you'd find the bloody thing straight away, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But when they do that, I said, "Well, I was planning on buying it, but if you can't be bothered to get some more photographs, then stuff you kind of thing."
Yeah.
So that's the only trouble now, because you just cannot find them. I mean, all right, they're not that old, because it's like 1970s, so they've been over here a while then. But some of them you just cannot find, and you certainly can't find them in decent condition. So many people they've just not been looked after at all. They're not collectors; they were just readers.
Readers. Yeah.
Not thinking about them afterwards. The back pocket kings like they used to do.
Yeah. GP, got anything coming up this week?
Yes, this week I'm going to be on Comic Lad Simon's channel on Sunday for another episode of Anime This. We just take it in turns to do the live shows. But I'm working on a bunch of stuff for October at the minute, so things will be sporadic on my channel for a little while until I'm all sorted with that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. For myself, there will be a video on Monday. I believe probably it will be an unboxing of some original art from Daniel Warren Johnson. But don't get too excited, because it's basically just a remark. Like, it's nothing knock your socks off good. But I'm still really excited to have it. Yeah.
And you warmed up a very good joke?
No, not yet. After I Google the hell out of that one. Probably on Friday as well, there might be a Wrestle Crate unboxing. Not really sure. Depends what happens tomorrow. Because I haven't actually unboxed any of this stuff yet, so wait and see is the gist of it. But it should be coming.
Yep.
All those in favour of ending Parliament say hoot.
Hoot.
Hoot. Tremendous. And thanks for watching, everyone. And we'll catch you next time in the Spiral Dimension. Peace.
And I don't really know. Well, I suppose, no. Really what happened was, no, the thing is, rather than confront, I thought,